Alright, well, I just ran aground. Oh, we're moving again. Well, it's towing very poorly. It keeps getting sucked into the motor. Today, I will be running the garbage I collected in the last video south along the Sacramento River. We are starting just outside Redding and will be heading to Red Bluff. Along the way, we will explore creeks and run treacherous rapids. If you haven't seen it, click the card and check out part 1 where I collected this junk. I'm going to need to eat some breakfast real quick and then I'll start downriver. I was going to do something kind of fancy for breakfast, like a burrito, bean burritos or something, but not feeling it at the moment. I'm just going to go for an orange and then get underway. The stone moorings ended up working really well here. It took quite a bit of force to pull that out. I'll end up doing this again, putting this one in my pocket to save for later. Well, not the stone, the technique with the stone. I hope that was evident. I always pull the screens out of the windows before getting underway, just in case I need to escape out of that window. There's a legitimate reason to barge this garbage downriver, and I'm not just a goober that likes to drive miniature boats. I will have to rent a truck to haul this boat and the garbage back home. The truck is rented by the mile, and every mile I travel by boat offers a significant cost savings to me. I have ship's hats for sale if you want to help pay for the proper disposal of the garbage I removed from the river. They're super fun. Just send me an email if you want one. I have videos on building both the tug, motherlode, and the plywood barge. There's some big gnarly snags down there. We're gonna have to go left of them, but it looks shallow too, so it's a little risky. If I go left, I'll be in some turbid water. If I go right, I can get hooked on the snags. I'm going left. There's deeper water on the left side. It looks like a sea serpent. That log. I just rolled off the throttle because I touched the bottom here. I don't want to break the shear fin. I'm glad I went the way I did. That would have been too shallow. cable ferry right there. Oh, this is the sawmill up here. Let's go check out that cable ferry. Oh, that's not a cable ferry. That was a platform to mount a pump on. That's I-5 back here. Down there is Churn Creek. We're gonna stick our head in there and see what's going on over there. This bear comes down too. I think there's a tire in the river here. Oh, yeah. Let's see if we can grab it. I got the tire. I'm gonna keep going up Churn Creek. Looking good. Maybe we could get some more tires. I wonder how far back I can go up this. It's pretty deep over here, so there's not a ways we can push. Alright, that's as far as we can go. There's a tree down. If I broke the barge off, I could probably push up there further, but I don't feel like doing all that work. Just take the, maybe go 100 feet further. I'm gonna push into these bushes over here. Use fuel, take a break, and get on out of it. I managed to fish out part of a t-shirt. Back here in this little pond I've taken a break in. And over there, like right there, is a monster can I'm gonna go get. Take this chance to refuel before we get underway. And after that, it's smooth sailing down to Anderson Park. Or at least I hope it's gonna be smooth sailing. Who knows? I bet if I get a running start at this brush, I can punch straight through it. Bye-bye, little grotto. I will I'll pull out the tools and see if we can make something to fix it. Right down there at that bend is the boat launch I'm going to stop at. Alright, I do not want to miss the turn-in for this boat ramp. I hear it's easy to miss. I'm gonna shut off the camera. Oh man, look at that view. Just let's look at it. Oh my goodness. But I'm gonna turn off the camera and look at a map. The reviews were right. It is very easy to miss this boat launch. And I missed it. But I found a great little beach to park on here. And we will set about repairing the transom. Oh, and there's another chore I need to take care of. I gotta empty the potty. There's a little toilet up there I can empty it at. I hope I can also refill my water here. There's gotta be a drinking fountain somewhere. This will be a good chance to look at the tools I brought on the trip. Obviously I brought a small hatchet, a pruning saw. In here I have some red RTV to seal up any holes if I got some. I have a Japanese lobster wrench. These are very nice wrenches. They're made of a good steel. There's this multi-tool, and I found this multi-tool on a ship and it was broken. One of the jaws was broken off, so I filed and ground it down into a marlin spike, which is good for tying knots. Spark plug wrench, obviously for the motor. This was so funny. When I saw this at a Korean hardware store, I was like, I have to have that. And it was less than $5. It is so ridiculous. Utterly useless. Well, I'm not going to say it's useless. I've used it to cut things. But I can't imagine a situation where I'm pounding things in with such a tiny hammer. It was cute, and I got it. We got a knife. Inside, this is the toolkit for the motor. It's got a little screwdriver. It's got a little screwdriver, 2 wrenches. I've got 3 extra shear pins and 2 cotter pins. In here I've got a 6-way screwdriver. And I wanted to bring a small hacksaw, so I've got this hacksaw. It takes a blade. The blade's going to be at the bottom of the box. I've got an 8 and a 10. Those are 2 sizes that are used on the engine. Those Allen keys fit the engine. A set of dikes. I have a nav light in here. Spare prop. Engine oil. Inside of this are cotter pins and shoe pins. Small set of needle nose pliers. And I have a vise. Plus zap straps. I could have used those to secure that motor manual. Cold chisel, file, hacksaw blade. I'm gonna zap strap up that cable on the throttle cable. And I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna see if we can make a metal bracket that can attach right there to hold that stiff. Underneath my table, I have this bracket that was supporting the table. I'm going to rip this bracket out, and I think I'll cut it in half and make 2 steel straps that I can use to secure the transom with. I was scrounging screws out of bits, worried that it's stuck to the paint. It's like glued on with the paint. I don't even have to worry about that falling off. Too easy. Alright, I found a fistful of screws here. Now what I gotta do is, I think I'm gonna cut this in half. This little vise clamped up to the top of my door. I'm going to go at it with this hacksaw here. I'll get back to you when I'm done. Alright, after a little bit of work, we got through it. I'll clean up the ends with my file. Got the ends all cleaned up. I just got to bend it, so I have two 90-degree brackets. I got to be careful when I start prying on this. This top plate here is just held on with a couple of small nails. So if I put too much pressure on it, I might rip it off. A little bit further. That ought to work. Just gotta do it again. I need to tighten up this corner. I'm gonna see if I can squish this in the vise and then hammer on the end a little bit. We did get it squished flat. I'm gonna hold that in my hand and hammer on it with the hatchet. That did the trick. I'd like to be able to get this to where it sits nice and flush, so I'm gonna round off the corner right here with my file. I've gone through and rounded the corner and I filed off this lip, that way the plate could sit nice and flush across the two parts, provide support. I just broke the screw off. Super bummed about that. I'm gonna have to move that just a skosh down or up to be able to get a new screw in the hole. I have fashioned these brackets. There's a Tractor Supply here. I'm in Anderson right now, and there's a Tractor Supply here. But I don't want to leave the boat unattended in the park. Down in Red Bluff, there will be a Home Depot that I can catch a ride to. I stole a few screws from around the chimney here. We'll put them back when I get a permanent solution installed. Found this lure where I was working. It's a good reminder that people fish this river a lot, and I would basically treat the whole river like there's fish hooks everywhere and not walk barefoot. Like I've got sandals on right now. For lunch today, I'm making potatoes and bean burritos. I'm heating up the beans over there. We're cooking some potatoes here. Got a ripping hot fire to cook with. Hopefully it burns out pretty quick. It'll get hot if in here if it keeps burning after I make lunch. I got potatoes, onions, and beans on toasted tortillas. It's gonna be delicious. I was cruising down the river and saw this little cove here. That'd be a great spot to stop. It looks so inviting. I think I'm gonna lock up the boat and go for a walk. Behind me are some trails. I haven't walked but a few hundred feet, and I've already managed to collect a pretty good pile of stuff here. We'll get it bagged up and hauled back to the boat. But I'm gonna walk the other way too. This way, we could wade through that, I guess. I don't feel like it. Just the cone and the cushions and the beer cans and stuff ended up being a full bag. I'm gonna go walk the other way and I'll see if I can find another bag. It'd be sick if I could pull 2 bags off just from an incidental walk. I haven't found anything big yet going this way except for like little cans and stuff in the bushes. I was about to give up hope for finding something else big over here, but I walked literally like 50 feet that way and found what I think is the remains of a chair. At least the upholstery of the chair. I'm gonna get that bagged up. The other big one was the cone and the cushions. So I went for just one more walk along the shore and ended up finding another piece of scrap metal. It's pretty big and I didn't want to put it way up on top because it can be super high. So I've got it lashed off to the bed frame up here on the foredeck. Hopefully that works out okay. The repairs to the transom seem to have worked pretty good. Because this boat has a flat bow, if you hit the waves flat on, there's a real pounding that happens. It's smoother if you take it at like a little bit of a quarter. Essentially make your put your pointy end into the wave. Ah, there's a bee on my neck. Slide right through here. I tried to get the Cow Creek, but the current was too strong and I missed it. There are birds living in the cliffs up there. Part of an old pump. I missed the entrance to Cow Creek, so I proceeded downriver. And I ended up finding this little tiny cove over here. Itty bitty. But there's a little bit of an eddy I was able to ride out into here. We're sheltered by that fallen tree, and we're in the shadow of the bluff. Hopefully no rocks fall on me tonight. I'm tied up to this log right here. We're wrapped around that bit and then tied up to the log. I'm gonna spend the night here. What's cool about this boat is if I was kayak camping, I'd have to go find an island or something to sleep on. Right here, I can sleep on the boat, tied up to a tree on a cliff. It's a unique option. I'm gonna take advantage of it, purely because I can. Today was a roaring success. I managed to add 2 bags of garbage, a tire, and that piece of scrap metal up there. I wish I could have gotten this down inside the boat, but I'm okay with it lashed up there on the foredeck. What a great haul. It's pretty warm this afternoon. I'm still full from the lunch that I had. So I'm gonna do something simple for dinner. Just sliced peaches and a can of beer. I just had an orange for breakfast before getting underway today. If I come through here again, I'll camp at Bear Creek. Looks like the end of the line. Did we get something? Oh, we might have found something up here. Fuck yeah. Nice. I'm gonna go up there and just press the end of the line. We'll whip it around and grab that thing. Oh, I just touched bottom. This is the end of the line. A good technique to have in your boat handling skills is called pinning. So I got the motor set running a little bit forward, and I'm just forcing myself into the bank here while I walk up, and I'll tie the boat off to this tree. So you notice the boat stays where it is. This motor's a little short for this boat, so it starts pushing air. And just like that, you're able to get tied up single-handed. Where you got to walk from one end of the boat to the other to tie up. Even step off the boat. But make sure your the lock on your outboard motor works. Otherwise your motor will like spin around and the boat will take off in a direction you don't want it. I think this might have been a canoe. I'm pretty sure that's the hin. I think it was a canoe. But it got pressed up against that tree over there and flattened out and ripped apart. I'm not sure how I want to fit all of that onto here. I could go this way, but then that blocks access to my provisions. I want to avoid putting more stuff up on the bow, but that is an option. I'm thinking I'm going to put it right here. I'll cut it in half and we'll lash it down to the bed frame on top of the trash bags. Then if I get more trash, I can keep stacking. I decided it's best to use my axe because I can sharpen this in the field. If I mess up my saw, I can't fix that out here. We're going to cut this down into 4-foot sections and I'll be able to stack it on top of what I got over there already. This was totally a boat. This would have been a bow up here. I'm going to try cutting it here maybe. I cut that canoe into 3 sections now. I should be able to fit it on top of the trash heap. After a little bit of work, we got both pieces of the canoe stuffed down in the hull and the bows on top of the trash heap. I'm very happy to be able to pull something out like that. That could very easily be here for many years. Just because if you paddle through here, I don't imagine anybody's coming up this river in anything but a kayak. If you paddle through here, there's no way you're gonna take that out with you. On the other side of that bridge is the famous restaurant Roosters, the popular stopping point on this river. I'm chilling inside the cabin right now as I drift to get out of the sun, and I'm able to watch from the inside of the boat what's going on around and keep track of where I am if I'm drifting towards a dead head or anything, and then I can jump back out and start the motor. I just entered Battle Creek. I got a long ways I can push up this creek here, but there's a bit of a current on it, and to get more speed out of my boat, I'm going to break apart my tow and rearrange it so I'm pushing ahead, the barge ahead of the tug, rather than towing on the hip. I should be able to get some more speed out of that. I just found a treehouse. Oh. It's pulled into the tree. I think I'm gonna stop here for lunch. This thing is sick. Check it out. That's a view of the boat we don't get often. For this picnic lunch, I've made a peanut butter and preserve sandwich. I've got some raisins, mangoes, and nuts, of sparkling water. There's a piece of drain pipe down there. I'm gonna grab it. There's a tractor tire over there. That would be quite a score if I could bag that. I'm gonna have to see if I can anchor over here and then maybe dig it out with one of the shovels I found earlier in the trip. After a bit of wrestling, I was able to get the tire up here to the boat. My plan is to dig these rocks out using that antique hoe. What I found is stuffing a couple of fenders in there floats the tire, so I'm going to tow it downstream to somewhere I can get my trash out of the barge, crane the tire into the barge using a tree, then put the trash back into the barge. So it's towing very poorly. It keeps getting sucked into the motor. Not good. I think we can make this work for a little bit. I gotta find somewhere good to like land on a beach like that, but I need a better beach. I got everything taken out of the barge. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to like rig a crane off of that tree there to pick up the tire with. The tire is slung from that tree. I think I can get under that side of it, pick it up, and put it into the barge. Let's give it a shot. So after a bit of struggle, I got the tire into the barge and it is secured now. We're gonna pack all of this back in around it. I separated the barge from the tug to see if it floats level, and it does. It is, let's see. It is down by the head, just a skosh. It's not ideal, but I still have plenty of freeboard, so I think we should be fine. I can try to rock it, and I don't think it's dangerously unstable. I think we're gonna be okay to take this down the river. I'm gonna go through and sweep off these decks, that when I'm walking around on it barefoot, I don't step on a piece of rust. I got my boat tied up over here at the treehouse again. I'm gonna spend the night here. It's already 5 o'clock, and it took me that late to get all of this restacked back into the boat. Look at it, it's taller than the roof of the tug now. I'm not sure I could take anything else from this trip, but we'll see. If I find something small, we could stuff it in there. I got a little bit of room up here. We could take some bags of cans and stuff, but I really feel like now we're fully packed in there. This is going to be a super cool spot to camp, and I'm halfway tempted to sleep outside, but I think I'm going to have to hide out inside during dusk because the mosquitoes are going to get real bad. I'm going to do, I don't know what I'm going to do for dinner yet, but I'm going to get something hot. I want a hearty meal today. I rigged up the clothesline because all my clothes were sopping wet. I was working in the water this afternoon. Here today is chili that I doctored up with one fresh onion, a piece of toast, and a cold beer. I can't imagine a better spot to have it. I used wet wood to build a smoky fire to keep the mosquitoes away. fish under the bridge. I haven't had breakfast yet, so I'm going to have a preserved sandwich and some mango. But what a wild view out my little window here. Big piece of volcanic rock. Wildflowers. Wow. That's a view to have. When I built this boat, I never imagined I'd be tied up to a volcanic rock eating breakfast. I went for a walk around here and I found a sandal, styrofoam, pre-sun pack, and spray paint. I wanted to find some litter or tire on this creek, but I was pleasantly surprised to find that it was completely clean. It's about noon now. I've run up about as far as I can. I can go up to about there, but I was touching bottom, so I walked the boat back to here. I got the anchor out. It's hooked under some rocks over there. We are in a deeper pool right now. It gets shallower going over there. It's pretty warm out here, so I'm going to keep it cool with a can of sliced pears for lunch. Pop on the top and the last of the sparkling water. I can reprovision in Red Bluff. With that bracket gone, my table's starting to droop. I'm back at that tight slough we explored this morning. I'm gonna end up spending the night here. I've got bad news. My tomato got squished. It's okay. I think I can work around this. I'm gonna make avocado and tomato wraps for dinner. It's morning here. I am going to go around this corner. Next gravel bar down the river is called Massacre Flats. I'm gonna go spend the night there. It's a popular campsite on this trail. So I should be able to find some cans, maybe water bottles or stuff around there. Just at the tip of that bluff is where I'm going to stop. That looks a good spot. Oh, it's like it's made for trolling. I've stretched a line up to this clump of brush. I'm sure that's strong enough to hold the boat. I mean, at least I hope so. So I locked up the boat. I'm gonna go walking around and see if I can find some trash before the sun gets up. This is gonna be a hot spot this afternoon, but it should be okay. You know, golf balls make great file handles. Oh, I bet this came all the way down from that driving range in Reading. Neat. Hey there, buddy. I didn't mean to disturb you. Just keep on chilling. I know you're cold-blooded and the sun hasn't gotten on you yet. Just try to take it easy. Oh shit, we found another tire. Do I do it? Do I go back and get the shovel and start digging? Ah, fuck, I am. I have the time today to dig this thing out. I'll haul it out of here. I haven't eaten breakfast yet, so I'm gonna polish off the rest of the mango slices and go dig that tire out. All right, it took a bit of work, but I got it out. I'm gonna roll it back to the boat now. Over here at Massacre Flat, I was able to get a memory foam mattress, just some general garbage, beer cans, chip bags, that kind of stuff, and a tire from a truck. I'm just hanging out reading. It's just about time for lunch. I'm gonna go with tuna wraps. Alright, well, frankly, it doesn't look very delicious. It kind of looks like cat food, but I'm sure this is going to be a great meal. The river level is dropping, so I let out more line and I moved the boat out from that little cove out here to deeper water, and then I put my anchor off the stern out there to the middle of the river to hold me off from bonking into the shore here. Hopefully this doesn't drop much further. If I got the boat stuck on the hard, it would be pretty much impossible at this point with a tractor tire in there to pull this off by hand. I wasn't so sure about making posts on the ends of the boats when I first tried it in lieu of cleats, but I'm really sold now. You just tie them up using a tugboat hitch. I'll show you how to do that. It works great. And tugboat hitch works well when you don't have access to the bitter end of the line. So if this is going off to my load, I can come around the post, come underneath, loop around, then you loop around the other way, and you come underneath, and you loop around, and you do that a couple of times, you'll have more than enough friction to hold whatever you're trying to hold. I was inspired to put these on the boat when I saw a Korean, no, maybe it was a Japanese aquaculture boat, fiberglass boat, and the bits on the boat were just 4x4 posts that had been fiberglassed over. It looked very effective. I'm gonna cook my dinner on the campfire tonight. For dinner, I'm having some chili. I'm gonna polish off the last of my beer tonight. I got 3 cans left. I'll be able to restock beer down in Red Bluff tomorrow. While I wait for that to heat up, I'm gonna munch on some jerky. The tire I dug out yesterday has been loaded into the barge. Got the other tire that was there is now stacked on top. I'm gonna get underway in just a minute. Sun's not up, but the sun's kind of peeking over the ridge now. I wanted to get an early start today. There are many jet boaters that like to go zooming through China Rapids. I figured if I get out there early, I can get through there before they're up. China Rapids is going to be the most risky part of this trip. The off-duty sheriff's deputy I spoke with at the bar in Red Bluff said he has responded to 6 fatalities in China Rapids, and 3 of them they never recovered the bodies. The river narrows down to about a 50-foot wide channel in the rapids for a quarter mile. There are significant boils and undercurrents that can pull a person down if they end up in the water. We are passing Table Mountain. This mountain is characterized by stunning volcanic rock formations. The Clint Eastwood film Outlaw Josie Wales was filmed around here. A small set of rapids sit at the base of Table Mountain. This is just a hint at how treacherous China Rapids will be.
It's right on the other side of this bridge, so I got to turn around once I pass under it, and motor up in the boat launch is like right there.
They've got a potty here and drinking fountains. I'm going to empty my porta-john and refill my water while I'm here. I'm going to flush that out for a minute before I fill my water bag. I'm worried there could be stale water in the line. I got my water bag full. Going back to the boat now. I don't want to get tangled up in that stuff when I leave the boat launch here. It's going to be a bit tricky. I mean, fuck, that would destroy the boat. Hitting that thing right there, punch right through the bottom of it. The next part of the journey has us going through China Rapids. And that's about a quarter-mile long stretch where the river narrows down to about 50 feet. There shouldn't be any waves, but I expect there to be lots of boils and unpredictable currents. Once again, we've lowered everything as low into the boat as we can. I got my paddle at the ready. I'm going to fire up the cameras before I leave. We're trying a new view. I'm going to call that the trash heap cam up there. See if that gets some good footage. And we'll hope for the best. I'm still nervous about that over there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. I'm going to sneak up as far as I can and then shoot over to avoid all of that.
I didn't get out here early enough. I hope they slow down for me. I don't want to get rocked by their weight. That's the sheriff. I'm right where I want to be. This is where it narrows down to about 50 feet. The channel of the river here is about only 50 feet wide. Gives me a rock that pushes all the stream over to the left, just right down here. I'm going to have to throttle up and punch through that. Alright, I gotta go left. There's that rock right there. Oh, this is really bad. Oh. Alright, it's not as bad as we've had before. Had worse. And there we go, there's that little kick over. That's pretty gnarly. A little bit. Now I'm going to go right down the middle of that.
That is the last Class 2 rapid we'll go through on this trip. I feel like that would be a Class 1 rapid if not for the consequences of falling out of your boat. This section of the river made me feel like that part of the Snake River where the tugs push through that canyon.
There's I-5. I just made it into Red Bluff. It looks like the middle span is beneath it. Maybe left span is deeper. I'm still gonna take middle. There's somebody up under the bridge tweaking out real hard. I'm gonna go further downstream. Hopefully I can find somewhere I can anchor or tie to. I'm only about 100 feet downstream, but I feel a lot more, I feel less exposed over here.
And with that, we're in Red Bluff. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss part 3 of this adventure.